A long time ago, in a quiet little village, lived a poor farmer and his wife. Their life was hard, and their hearts were heavy with sorrow, for they had no children. They worked tirelessly in the fields from dawn to dusk, but happiness always seemed out of reach. One stormy night, as the farmer walked near his land, he heard the faint sound of a baby crying. Following the sound, he discovered a tiny baby boy, wrapped in a cloth, lying alone near the edge of the field. The farmer gently picked him up and hurried home. His wife, shocked at first, soon felt tears of joy. "Perhaps this child was sent to us," she whispered. From that day onward, they raised the boy as their own son, showering him with love and care. As he grew, the boy became strong, kind, and diligent. He helped his parents in the fields plowing, planting, and carrying water without a single complaint. Unlike others who grumbled at work, he toiled quietly and patiently. Slowly, the crops in his care flourished more than anyone else's. His grains were larger, his harvests were abundant, and his fields were always green. But the villagers couldn't rejoice in his success. Instead, jealousy began to fester in their hearts. They whispered that he must be using magic or some sort of trick. Some mocked him, others broke his tools, and a few even stepped on his crops when no one was watching. Yet, the young man never retaliated. He remained calm, worked even harder, and treated everyone with respect. One year, disaster struck the village. Heavy rains caused the river to overflow, destroying nearly every crop. Fields lay barren, children cried from hunger, and families despaired. Only one person had food left: the young farmer, who had carefully stored his grain. He could have kept it all for himself, but his heart wouldn't allow it. Under the cover of night, he cooked meals and quietly left them at the doors of his struggling neighbors. Morning after morning, the villagers awoke to find food waiting for them. They had no idea who was helping them, yet his kindness was what kept him alive. Even as he continued to help, people still insulted him during the day, never suspecting it was he who had fed them. One evening, exhausted from a long day, the young man sat outside his home and thought, why does kindness bring hatred? Why does doing good invite so much pain? Unbeknownst to him, an old villager, too weak to work the fields, but sharp-eyed and wise, had seen everything. That very day he stood before the crowd and proclaimed, "You call this young man a cheat and a liar, but it is he who has fed you through your darkest days. Without him, many of you would have starved." The villagers fell silent, their hearts filling with shame. For the first time, they looked at the young farmer not with envy, but with overwhelming guilt. That same night, a royal procession arrived carrying the king's seal. They announced that years ago, the king and queen had lost their baby son during a storm. Despite searching far and wide, they had never found him until recent clues led them to this very village. When the royal guards examined the young man, they found the birthmark the prince was known to have. The truth was undeniable. The king and queen ran to embrace him, tears of joy streaming down their faces. The villagers, remembering their cruelty, bowed in fear. The king, angry at how they had mistreated his son, was ready to punish them. But the young man knelt before his adoptive parents and said, "Father, mother, do not harm them. I forgave them when they hurt me. How can I punish them now?" The royal couple were moved by his mercy. The villagers wept, deeply touched by the prince's boundless compassion. From that day forward, he was not only heir to the throne, but also known as the Prince of Mercy. His adoptive parents were honored and lived joyfully in the palace for the rest of their lives. And so, the boy who worked in silence taught everyone a lasting lesson. Cruelty and jealousy may rise like storms, but they always pass. What remains is kindness, leaving behind light, hope, and love. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that inspires the heart.